We're SlikRok Productions, and today we're going to do an install in this car, a long overdue install. So there's a couple reasons I'm putting this in my car. This is a gated shifter, and the purpose in having a gated shifter, there's a couple of them, but if you drive pretty aggressively and you need to slam it in reverse real quick or slam it and drive real quick, it's really hard to do with a factory Polaris shifter because you'll miss. You go to grab reverse and you end up jamming it in park. And I've rolled this car a couple of times because I've missed gears in it in a time of need. And another thing that I really hate on these cars is, you know, we've all done this. You put it in gear and you think you're in gear, you hear that click, 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 you give it a little gas and all of a sudden it slams into gear and it engages. Well, this eliminates that. You can smoothly go from shift to shift without missing a gear. And so what this does is you have to squeeze it to get it out of park. And you can go to reverse at that point, and you can go all the way down to low gear at that point. So you can go reverse, neutral, and low all in one motion. But in order to get it in high, or to get it back into park, you have to click it. So if you're climbing up a hill and you're in low gear and you start slipping and sliding back where you want to slam in reverse, keep yourself from going over backwards, all you got to do is hit it forward and it immediately goes back into reverse. There's no guess with it. And so this car is a rock crawler car. And like I said, I've rolled this car a couple times because I've missed gears in it. So this is a long overdue upgrade. But we put a couple of these in a few of our other vehicles and they work really well. So I'm going to take you step by step on what it takes to install this. They're super simple. You can do it with just your basic tools. So the first thing you want to do is get your center console out of the way. It's a T25 in the shifter. You pop the cap off, get the shifter knob off. There's a T40 on both sides. On a four-seater, there's 4 of them, and then some plastic press-in clips. So I'm sure you guys have all been into these and get them out, but get it this far, and then we'll take you to the next step. So the first thing you want to do here is remove the factory shifter. So there's a little black clip, a little C-clip right here. You want to be really careful with this because if this gets away from you, it's going to bounce down into your skid plate or go into another dimension. You're never going to find it again. There's another little clip here on the end. You can just put a screwdriver in it, turn it out. Pull the washer off. Pull the end off, and this slides back off. So the only thing we're going to reuse on this shifter is this piece here. This is a 13mm nut. So you'll want to take that off. It's keyed on one side, so just one wrench will get it off. Once you get that out, on your shifter, all the Razor 1000s and turbos use the front lock-in right here. Not the middle, not the back, just the front. So the base of your shifter is 2 pieces. So these are 5mm Allen heads. So the way this bolts on is this piece slides over your shifter. This piece slides down this way, down in the hole, and just put the nuts in it and get it fastened. So once you've got that piece on, so the locking mechanism is here, and this is what makes it work. So when you slide your shifter on, get to slide it inside the locking mechanism. Oh, put in the gear you took it out of. When you took it off, put your washer back on, and your little clip. And then your C-clip that we took off, put that back on. Now once you got this on, you can see it's a little loose. It rattles a little. So this is the adjustment for that. You back this off until it goes against your C-clip here. And that keeps it nice and quiet, keeps it in a firm location. You can run through your gears, make sure it all works. it does nicely. And then there's a 2.5 set screw to tighten up your adjustment nut here. Now you don't need to King Kong this thing. You don't need to put a pair of pliers on it and get all tough with it. Just run it back to where your shifter doesn't have play in it, and then just tighten it down, and that'll lock it into place. So one of the things I really like about the shifter that's kind of cool is, so once you get your center console back in, you get it put back together, you can take, the Allen heads come in the kit. You can take the handle off. You can put a little WD-40 back on your factory boot, force it back over, and keep that factory look with having an aftermarket shifter. So you can see with it all installed, it's a really cool look in the machine. One thing I really like about this over the factory shifter is it sits a little bit higher. So in a time of panic, it's really easy to grab onto and make contact with it and not miss it. So you basically squeeze it to get it out of park, and from reverse, you can go to low, back to reverse without hitting park. You got to squeeze it to go back to high. From high, you can go all the way forward and hit reverse again. So you can go back and forth and not actually hit park. And so it's really easy. It functions really well. The machining on it is perfect. It's a really good piece. It's well constructed. This is a great product. So Nitro Racing Parts makes this component. They do a lot of billet stuff. They do, radius rods. They do tie rod ends. We're probably going to do quite a bit of business with these guys in the future. I'm looking forward to trying some of their other products. But one thing I do recommend is when you pull your factory shifter out of your vehicle, put a zip tie to the bushings, keep the top, keep the screw in it, because when you get your next car, you're going to want to take that out and put it in your next car. That is a good piece. So we'll catch you on the next video.